Capital One has been making some huge changes lately that have been getting a lot of people to question, do I need my Amex Gold card anymore? Before figuring out exactly why, let me know in the comments below, are you Team Capital One or Team Amex and why? That's right, starting off first with the Capital One Quicksilver card and a couple of other cards within the Capital One universe, they have added a new Uber One perk. That's right, Capital One and Uber have just formed a partnership. That's right, with this benefits, it states that any eligible card members are getting access to a free Uber One membership for the next 2 years up until November 2024. Namely being the Capital One Saver Cash Rewards, the Saver One Cash Rewards, and the Saver One Student Rewards. And this also goes along with every other tier with the Capital One Quicksilver cards, that being the secured, that being the highest tiered one, and the Quicksilver One credit cards, which is the worst card in the world. With those specific credit cards, you're getting up to 6 months free for your Uber One membership, which is something, right? And this is going to be in the form of statement credits, right? So if you use any of these credit cards to pay for the Uber One membership, it's going to be reimbursed to you in the form of a statement credit, which is typically about over $200 in value that you're getting in membership fees alone. And the benefits that you're getting with just that membership alone are pretty much up to 10% off your total Uber Eats order, depending on if it's eligible or not. Unlimited $0 delivery fee, which we know how much that could stack up, and then up to 5% off any eligible Uber rides. And not only are you getting 10% off your total price with Uber One, but when you use one of these eligible credit cards to pay for your Uber Eats or your Uber rides, you're going to be getting an additional 10% back on all those purchases as long as you pay with those cards. But just having some people wonder, like, hey, if I'm a person that really loves food delivery or just Uber rides in general, and since the Amex Gold card does come with monthly dining credits towards Uber Eats, that they're wondering, why am I going to keep paying for an Amex Gold card that's not giving me a complimentary membership, has a $250 annual fee, and not getting the total amount of value that you would be getting back by using the Gold card as opposed to the Quicksilver. Especially when you consider a credit card like the Capital One Saver One Rewards credit card. So this way it's a $0 annual fee, but it still gives you that complimentary Uber One membership and 10% off and then 10% back on the total order, which is a lot of value for no annual fee, am I right? Also, you have the other side of the equation where you have people actually mentioning that it's good to use in conjunction with the Amex Gold card, where you could technically sign up through your Capital One credit card, get the complimentary Uber One membership for the next 2 years, and then use the Amex Gold card for all their dining credits every single month towards Uber Eats purchases. Okay, so cashback and Uber and all that stuff is great, but how else is Capital One changing? Well, look at this. I just read recently that the BJ's, the Wholesale Club, has just changed their official bank from Comenity to Capital One, which essentially means that if you go for a new BJ's credit card, it's now going to be issued by Capital One, and with that comes a lot of other perks. So they actually added some benefits and took away some benefits, so let's look at them. So number one, they kept this the same, but you're still going to be getting 3% cashback on all BJ Wholesale Clubs, online, or even in the app. And number two, you're still going to be getting 10 cents off every single gallon you pump at BJ's Gas. I get the feeling that this video will turn into a meme for whatever reason. I guess if you know, you know. And subscribe if you do. So it looks like they got rid of 3 different things. Number one being you're no longer getting 2% back on all gas stations that are not at BJ's. Number 2 is they took away the 2% dining category. And then 3, they took away the 1% back on all other purchases. They have now since replaced that with 1.5% cash back on all purchases, which is pretty much comes standard with a lot of the Quicksilver Capital One credit cards. They also lowered the total amount of money that you needed in cash back to be able to cash it out. Before with Comenity, it was $25, and now it is just $10. And one benefit that I saw a ton of people on Reddit talk about, which is one of the best benefits, is that the rewards that you earn no longer expire. Apparently they expired before. And another thing is credit limits. We know how Capital One is. They're stingy with their credit limits, right? But we also love them for that. But we'll leave them in the corner. But this person reported that they used to have a $9,500 credit limit, and now it is just $3,500. And it looks like these cards are going to start actually shipping out come January and February, and look at that. It's January. Hey, where did you guys go? Are you guys still here? Oh my god, there you guys are. Oh, sorry to leave you in here. Okay, so another good benefit with Capital One is actually their savings accounts. If you look right now, the Capital One 360 Performance Savings Account lets you have up to 3.3% APY on all the cash that you have within their savings account, which is totally FDIC insured with no minimum deposit and no monthly maintenance fees. Which reminds me, just a couple of years ago when I first signed up for Capital One 360 Savings, I was getting an APY of just 2%, which I thought was just the greatest thing at that time because inflation was also 2% at that time. But now that inflation has just hit around 6.5% year over year, you're going to want a savings account that's going to mitigate the effects of inflation. So you might as well, if you're not going to be in the stock market, you might as well be in a savings account giving you near 3.5% back. So this way your money is worth more today than it is tomorrow. And speaking of a little bit of stock market talk, let's talk about today's sponsor, which is MooMoo. Now, I know a lot of people say it's an all-in-one trading app, but it actually is, okay? I just spent the last couple of days researching MooMoo's platform, and I've been pretty amazed. What with having so many tools that you would have to be a part of a few different brokerages to get all the value and the benefits that MooMoo gives you. What with having access to level 2 data, inflows and outflows to see if there's big whales buying large chunks of stock at that time, being able to see the technical analysis charts like 200-day moving averages, resistance and support lines for those of you who are traders, access to extended hours, so this way you actually can trade between 4 a.m. and 8 p.m., which is a little bit longer than most other brokerages out there. $0 commissions on all trades, whether it's options or just investing for the long term. And with having one of the most important things for all brokerage accounts to have, which is customer service support. That's right, you're going to be getting 24/7 human support, not just a random bot for the most part. You're going to be getting a human to ask any questions to that could give you answers to any questions you might have with your brokerage account or just the stock market in general. Which I can think back to just a couple of years ago when I was losing money on one particular stock. I had no idea how to actually sell out of my position, and I had nobody to call to get me out of that, which would have saved me a ton of money. And MooMoo also has its own social media aspect where you can actually ask questions to the community and they can give you answers back, and it's just a nice little thing to have. As well as just also having access to up-to-date news on all of your stock positions right there in the little news tab. And all of your invested cash within the MooMoo platform are all SIPC insured up to $500,000, so this way you know up to $500,000 and your money is secure and safe. And if that sounds enticing to you as it did for me, you can click my link in the pinned comment or the description down below, and you're going to be getting up to 15 free stocks worth anywhere between $3,000 and $2,000. So I guess that means the minimum you're going to be getting is $45, the max could be $30,000, so hopefully it's something in between. But I guess that's like winning the lottery, right? The way it works is if you're just trying to start out and just get familiar with the platform, you can just deposit $0 and you're going to be getting 1 free stock on them. Or you can do what I did, deposit $100 and get 5 free stocks, still worth between $3,000 and $2,000 each. Or if you want to be a big baller, then you can deposit $1,000 and get access to 15 free stocks, which is a lot more money. But just make sure to keep that balance for the next 2 months, and this way you'll gain access to all of those free stocks. And if you do sign up, let me know in the comments below and I'll personally thank you. But I guess thank you so much for MooMoo for sponsoring this portion of the video, and now back to some Capital One info. And number 3, one of the things that Capital One is changing right now because they really want to compete in the travel space. Within the next couple of years, they're looking to open up 3 new airport lounges across the United States. As we know, places like Chase and American Express have dozens and dozens of locations all across the world that you can stay and enjoy and relax and just have fun before your flight, right? And these places typically offer free food, free drinks, snacks, and just a place to sleep maybe. Well, now it looks like Capital One is looking to join that fight, and they're going to be opening up a location in Las Vegas, Washington, D.C., and Denver, Colorado, which is not a bad spot. And this is definitely the step in the right direction if they're looking to compete with some of these other cards that have a super ton of travel benefits. And I guess we saw the writing on the wall when we saw that the Capital One Quicksilver credit card, the no annual fee version, started offering 5% cash back on all travel purchases, which for a card that was branded as just the everyday card, that's peculiar, right? And these lounges are going to be very similar to the one lounge they have open right now, which is in Dallas, Texas, which is offering, I guess, some showers, some amenities, and food, and, you know, normal stuff. But are showers normal? To gain access to all of these lounges, you're going to need one of their premium travel cards, like the Venture X credit card, the Spark Travel Elite credit card, and those credit cards alone are going to be able to gain you unlimited access, and you can actually bring in 2 guests for free every single time you visit. But if you don't have those 2 cards, well, I guess have no fear, because if you also have just the Venture rewards, not the Venture X, just the Venture rewards, and if you just have the Capital One Spark Miles for business, you could also gain entry to these lounges, but just twice per year, and then that's it. And then you can't bring any guests, unfortunately. And then if you're a person that just wants to visit these lounges with none of these credit cards, lounge passes for the day are $65 each. Okay, so these are all great perks and benefits with Capital One, but what about the bad stuff, right? Like, what about all of the bad things that actually associated with Capital One credit cards? So if you want to see that breakdown on why you shouldn't get a Capital One credit card, take a look at that video on the left-hand side of your screen.